Hi there. Thanks for tuning in, as I always say. My opponent is from America. My opponent is on chess.com, and my opponent is black. And I am white, and like usual, I have a wonderful surprise for you. So I hope you enjoy the surprise. The surprise is, of course, d4. I have to go in the middle of this because my laptop isn't waking up. d4. Wow, that's a surprise. Knight f6, and then another surprise is c4, e6, and this move I came up with, and I probably got the idea from Garry Kasparov, is in the queen pawn opening, a3. I don't think it gets played on move 3, but I have played it against a New Zealand national master in the sort of like the candidates to the New Zealand Championships tournament, the New Zealand Reserve Championships. Wasn't reserve places, but it was. It was the second 12 players, and I played this on the board against the New Zealand Master, and that is the longest game of chess I've ever played, probably for hours as well. It's not the longest time I've played chess, but it was the longest match game of my life, was against this player, National Master of Chess from Auckland. I won't drop any names, but he has departed this earth some years ago now. So I played a3 against my opponent back then, and this made my opponent think a while, and also I noticed that there were people that were rather theoretical, that were running around the sort of smoko room or analysis room, and I found this one particular player was analysing this out the back room, a3. And I wasn't watching the analysis, of course, but... So anyway, a3, because I didn't need to, because he was just looking at the actual move itself, and he couldn't understand. He hasn't seen it before. So move 3, a3. Let's move on to a5. So I see no reason why I don't play this move, so I do. I play e4, and maybe the computer finds something a little bit irregular with it, but these are my pawns, not the computer's pawns. They're my pawns, so I'll push them if I feel like it. d6, and now I think, well, why not? Push another pawn. Yes, of course. I play f4, knight bd7, and now I'm starting to think, oh, this is not looking too bad. Knight f3, and knight f3, and we have the king romps off to safety by playing castle, and I'm a bit behind because I've been pushing 5 pawns. Don't those pawns look great? Bishop d3, and here comes the first annoyance into my central formation of 4 pawns adjacent to each other, all looking quite attractive. Till comes move 8, c5. Oh no, I'm going to have to break up my pawn formation. I played d5 and e5, and I thought, okay, well, if I take here, knight e5, knight e5, d-e5, I've now got a passed d5 pawn. The d5 pawn is now passed, but not that I have any sort of immediate ideas of pushing d5 to d6, as that would result in, of course, a loss of a pawn. So I now played castling to try to get back into the scheme of things, to get back into this game, because otherwise I'm rather backward with development, at least, to say the least. Bishop g4 and bishop e2. Yes, I want to get rid of this white squared bishop of mine, because guess what? It's my least strengthed bishop there is on the planet. And by doing this, I will avail my pieces maybe to be able to plant onto f5 square. And then I can just double up my rooks and all that sort of thing. So bishop e2, that kind of helps me. Queen e2, h6. Okay, fair enough. Rook f3. Now, oh no, I'm going to lose my good bishop now this time. So that's what happens, a bit of flip-flop in chess. Now I'm going to lose my good bishop as opposed to black's dark squared bishop, which is their worst bishop. And now my dark squared bishop is my worst bishop too, sort of thing. Bishop g5, rook g3, bishop e3, queen e3, threatening, of course, queen h6, and it's quite miserable for black after that. So white is threatening queen h6, as gh6 is impossible, as rook takes king h8. So now no longer can I play queen h6. So, but I played rook f5, and I don't actually know what I'm doing, but I am actually attacking the e5 pawn. And I've got still this past d6 pawn, d5 pawn. I'd like it to be on d6, but I don't want it to be there at the same time. f6. So, of course, I just play h4 to prevent knight g5, even though knight g5 probably won't really worry white some. But now I have, as mentioned before, when we swapped off the light squared bishops, each of us, now there are appearing little holes in black's camp, namely g6, f5, and even h5. Queen d7, rook g6, rook f7, knight e2. This is an assertive move. Queen a4, so some stock take here. I need to look after my c4 pawn. I do think I do. Because there's nothing else really happening, although the bar grid for Stockfish 15 is saying it favours white a little bit. By 1. What did I play just then? Queen d3. So it's gone down again. Rook b8. Now it's your move. Now, what would you play now? It's going in black's favour, I think. I'm not sure. It's 0.8, whatever that means. Here I played move 29, queen e2, and now we have queen a3. Now, if I don't watch it, I'm going to lose this, but that's okay. I don't mind to lose too much. I don't like to lose too much. I don't mind to lose, but I don't mind to lose too much, but I do actually not like losing. Not like some people don't mind losing, but I sort of don't know if I really like losing much, really. In fact, I don't even know if I like losing any. But here goes queen a3, queen g4. Now I just threaten rook g7, and then rook g8 checkmate, or rook f7 and queen g7 checkmate, or those sorts of things. So here comes black, though. Black has other ideas. Rook b1, and it's swinging in white's favour again. So maybe there's something really good for black to play. Instead of rook b1 check, I played king h2. Queen c1. Oh no, look at this. This queen is starting to, with the rook behind it, is starting to get quite difficult for white, because now white's getting threatened with all sorts of draws at least. So what do? Onwards and upwards is rook g7. And now if I can get away from these checks, then I should be alright. So here's queen h1. So I've only got king g3. I'm not going to look at that too long. Could though. Queen e1. Now it's your turn. What would you play now? It's gone right up in white's favour now. I'm not completely, absolutely, brilliantly sure about this, but I played here. I hope you played it. 34, here it comes. King h2, and then queen h1 and queen e1 check, and king h2 and queen h1 and king g3 and queen e1 check. Draw. No, I played rook f2, and this is now offering black, surprisingly enough, if now queen e3 check, then I was going to just merely play king h2. You can have my rook. You can have my rook because I'm going to play queen c8 check, am I? Or am I going to play rook h7 check? Maybe I'm not. And then I'll go queen f5 and queen takes queen. Oh no, ef5. Oh no, I'm a whole rook and something down or whatever. But upon queen e3 check, I play king h2. King h2, I think. And then if queen f2, then I play rook. Oh yeah, that's right. If queen f2, I play, what do I play? It's easier to see once you know that it's there. After queen e3, king h2, queen f2, I play, of course, oh no, my rook. I've lost a whole rook. I'm not trying to copy anyone, not really. I play rook g8, checkmate. Yay! Yeah, I got in. So, black, realising this, played rook b3, and here comes to prove it that I saw it, not king h2. Now, we can all see that queen f2 is no good as rook g8 in this 5-minute game on chess.com. Leaves black in checkmate or in material loss, as there's no queen f4 check or even queen g3 check or queen h4 check for black, and rook down to b1 check mate soon after queen d1. So here it's rather difficult, but here came knight g5 on move 35. What's your move after knight g5? After knight g5 for black, move 35. What's your move for white after knight g5? Threatening queen f2. What's your move? There are some moves here, but after knight g5, I just simply played this move here, and it's 2 moves till checkmate. It's queen c8 check, and only move is rook f8, but my opponent